everybody, it's Jess here with Blessed Jess. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so excited to be joining you today. I have my kids here. It's summer, so if I have to stop and start just like last week, stop and start, we're gonna get this video filmed. So I'm really excited to be bringing you another installment of our Bible study. I believe this is week 14. Can y'all believe that? If you've missed any of the weeks, if you want to go back and watch any of the weeks, I'll link them all down below. If you want to buy this book, that'll also be linked down below. There's also a free app. It's called I Deserve a Donut if you want to get the information from there, or if you just want to follow along through these studies. I like the book, but the app works great too. And there's also a Kindle version too. This is really about all of the reasons we eat. And it's not just because we like food. There's a whole list of reasons. We've read about 14 so far of reasons why we struggle with food. And learning to renew our mind, to give that part of our life back to God has been so eye-opening for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This author is Barb Raveling. She does not know me. She did not ask me to do this. And so basically I'm saying, I don't know if she would agree with everything I say. These are my thoughts as I learned from her in her book. So, last week, I'm sorry if it goes blurry. Last week we talked about hopeless eating, and I really enjoyed that. But I'm super excited about this week because it's something, like I said last week, it is something I have struggled with for pretty much 20 years of being overweight. And that is the philosophy of I'll start tomorrow. So this week is I'll start tomorrow eating, and if you've never struggled with this, I want to know how you've made it in life without ever having to struggle with this, because I feel like I struggle with it all the time. So let's just jump right into it. So if you've never seen one of our Bible studies, I normally start with the questions that she lists to ask yourself when you're struggling with this, to kind of help you get back on track. So we kind of go through the questions, and then we'll talk about some Bible verses to help renew our mind when we're struggling with this, and then she gives some tips. So let's jump right into the questions. Number one, what are your boundaries? It's really good. We haven't talked about this in a while, to list out your boundaries. You know, are you tweaking them? Boundaries are there to keep us safe. They are a good thing. And everybody has different boundaries, like we've talked about before. Intuitive eating, counting calories, counting smart points, intermittent fasting, blah, 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 blah. There's like 100 million different ones. Keto. What are your boundaries? And then within, like, say you're doing Weight Watchers and your best friend's doing Weight Watchers, you may do it a little bit differently. You know, she can eat all of her points. You can eat none of them, or you're going to gain weight. You know, what are you okay with? What are your boundaries? Is there ever a good time to start following your boundaries? So what makes you think that tomorrow is going to be better than today? You know, it's just that procrastination, like, oh, well, it'll be better tomorrow. I'll just start fresh tomorrow. It doesn't matter what has happened today. It's always better to start today, because tomorrow is going to come and go probably. And you may say the same thing again. Well, I'll just start tomorrow. Start today. What sacrifices will you have to make to lose or maintain your weight? And you will have to make sacrifices, and maybe you should list them out, you know, if you're struggling with this, because it's not easy. And a sacrifice is called a sacrifice because it is a sacrifice. You're going to have to let go of things. You can't just eat whatever you want in whatever quantity you want and expect to lose weight. Losing weight and turning over your food for other things, like turning it over to God for Him to renew your mind, that is going to take a sacrifice. Okay, what do you think will happen if you don't start today? For me, when I don't start today and I say, oh, I'll start tomorrow, usually I don't start tomorrow, or I'll wake up tomorrow and it'll go good for like one meal, and then I'll say, oh, let me just start again tomorrow. It never works good. Would it be better to start following your boundaries today, or is there a good reason to wait? I feel like there's never really a good reason to wait. No matter what you have going on today, you can make it work. And whenever I say, oh, I'll just start tomorrow, then usually I give myself just say like, oh, well, you can do whatever today because you're starting tomorrow. So you can overeat and just blow it up big time and you're starting tomorrow. So I give myself permission to way overdo it when I say I'll start tomorrow. Okay. What will your life and body look like a couple of months down the road if you develop the habit of consistently following your boundaries? And this just makes you think about the future, because when you constantly push it off till tomorrow, you're living for the moment. You're not ever thinking about the future. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking of what you want to do right now. And so when you kind of think about, wait, where do I want to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? Is me pushing it off constantly ever going to get me to that end result? You know, start thinking about the future. Start envisioning yourself, what you're going to look like, and maybe have some clothes that you can use as a motivation. And I don't think that's bad. I think that's good, because then it starts forcing you to think long term. And in order to get to that long-term goal, you've got to make sacrifices, and you've got to start today. Okay. There's more, but I'm going to keep going on to the Bible verses. Okay. Romans 13:14. But put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh in regard to its lust. So our body craves things. It sometimes craves things, a lot of times craves things that aren't good for us. You know, we were born into a sinful world, into a sinful body. That's just part of it. And just like sometimes we want to do bad things because we have a sinful nature, a lot of times we want to turn to food in an incorrect way. And that may seem dramatic, but it's true. When I turn to food, when I turn to a big bag of chips instead of dealing with my problems, that is not good. That's not giving it to God. That's taking control of myself and trying to fix it. And so, you know, sometimes you have to say, you know, I really want that bag of chips right now. Like, it hurts. Like, sometimes I may have cried because I really wanted something to eat. And that sounds so silly, but you know, it's hard. It is hard sometimes to, when your body really wants something, to practice saying no to it. You're like, no, we're not doing that today. You know, you're going to stay on track, and turning, you know, renewing your mind and turning to Bible verses and turning to God to help you. It's not, okay, so my battery went dead. What else can go wrong? So I'm going to keep going. But it's not so la-di-da, pie in the sky easy. It is hard work to say no to something that your body really, really wants. But it's good practice, because it's not just food that people have a hard time with that. It's life. So, okay. Hebrews 12:11. All discipline for the moment seems not to be joyful but sorrowful, yet to those who have been trained by it afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Discipline is huge, and you know, you can apply it to so many things in your life. And what I think about when I hear discipline is my kids. And a lot of times they want things, and they want to act a certain way that is not right. And I have to discipline them. And it's not easy, and it's not fun for anyone. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for how I raise them and teaching them the correct way to behave. And discipline needs to happen. And so discipline needs to happen in our weight loss too. It needs to happen, because if we never practice saying no to what we want and we use some discipline, we'll never get to the place we're supposed to be. Okay. Tips. We're going to move on to tips. So there's a few more Bible verses I would definitely recommend if you struggle with this, or you're having a particular hard time this week struggling with it, or maybe in the future. Just roll through these verses, and I really think that they will help. Tips. The best way to break free from the "I'll start tomorrow" eating is to ban that phrase from your vocabulary. Here's why. I can't speak today. The minute you say "I'll start tomorrow," you start feeling noble because you're going to do so good tomorrow. Haven't we all done that? And when you feel noble, it's easy to throw caution to the wind and have a wild night of eating. And that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. If I ever say "I'll start tomorrow," well, then today we're just going to live it up, because tomorrow I'm going to be perfect. I'm never going to, you know, struggle again. Why do we think like that? I totally do this. Because after all, you're going to be so good tomorrow. Try to change your mindset to think of this journey the same way you would think of a marriage. Would you habitually leave your spouse for an all-out day of flirting with other people? Of course not. That wouldn't be good for your relationship. In this manner, leaving your boundaries for the occasional all-out eating session isn't good for your relationship with food. Make a commitment to follow your boundaries through thick and thin, and it will be harder mentally to have an all-out eating session. And I love that. I love that. So funny, and it's so true. You know, think about it as a marriage. You know, our boundaries are that important to us that when we just leave them and say, oh, well, you know, would we do that for other areas of our life that we are responsible for, that are important to us? Would we just, like she said, leave our spouse and just go flirt with everybody? But I'll start back in my marriage tomorrow. No, your boundaries are that important. So stick with it and never again say, I'll start tomorrow, because chances are you won't be perfect tomorrow. And today you're going to eat way, way, way too much. And no matter of being good tomorrow is going to undo that. So I'm really going to stop doing that. And you know, if you say you're having a hard day and you mess up, instead of saying, oh, well, I'll just start again tomorrow, just say, okay, I'm going to start again right now, and just hit that reset button. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. Start it right now. And to me, that is going to help you way more than messing up worse. You're going to feel guilty, and then you're going to start tomorrow, and it's going to be so easy to say again, well, I'll just start tomorrow. And I've done that. I've woken up and done weeks of I'll start tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, and it's just a vicious cycle. Start today. No matter if you're watching this, I know it's maybe early for some of you, or maybe you're watching it later in the day, and you've already messed up. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for Monday. Start now. It's okay. Hit that reset button and start now. Start with your boundaries. If you're going to wait till hunger, then start now and wait for the next hunger. If you're doing Weight Watcher points and you've already blown it, well, start counting them today again. You know, wait for that hunger. Wait till you feel like you need to eat something, and then eat your normal Weight Watcher, what you need to do food. And I really think that is going to help us a lot more. So let's stop saying, I'll start tomorrow. Can we all make a pact that we're going to stop doing that? And I'm really going to try my best to stop doing it as well, because like I said, it's something that I've done forever. And sometimes I don't even think about it until I'm like, the day's over and I'm like, what did I do that for? You know, it's hard. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope it helped. I'm excited for next week. We're going to be talking about indulgence eating. Yeah, that every week I'm like, oh man, that hurts. I feel that. I've done that every week. I keep waiting for a week where I'm like, oh no, I don't struggle with that. It hasn't happened yet. Not really, because I struggle with pretty much all of these. And that's probably why it's been really challenging for me to lose weight my whole entire life. So if you're out there and you feel a similar way, I understand. I totally understand how hard it is. It's not an easy thing to do. But like we said last week, it is not hopeless. With God, all things are possible, and you can do this. I believe in you. Let's say a prayer that we will stop procrastinating and that we will stop pushing things off for tomorrow, but we will live today for today. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for these awesome people that are watching my video, God, and the fact that we can just gather together to learn more about renewing our mind and turning to you with our food and our body, God, and just drawing closer to each other as we draw closer to you, Lord. I just pray for everybody that's watching that struggles with this feeling of I'll start tomorrow and procrastinating and not wanting to follow their boundaries today, God. I just pray that we be able to stop using that terminology, God, that we be able to do what we need to do for today, God. And when we mess up, it'll just be another opportunity to learn and then get right back on track today, God. I pray that you will help us as we try to accomplish that, God, and in your name we will be able to accomplish that. I pray blessings over every single person that's watching this video, God, no matter what's going on in their life, God, that you would just strengthen them, God, that you would just let them know that you are right there with them and that they don't have to be alone, God. I just pray for them. I love on them, and I thank you for them, and I thank you for bringing them into my life, that we're able to do this study together in your name. Amen. Okay, so that is I'll start tomorrow eating, you guys. And next week, like I said, indulgence eating, page 53 and 54 and 55. So a little bit longer, but I definitely think it's going to be a good one. We only have a few more before we get into, well, I guess we have a little bit more than a few. And then we're going to get into more of the emotions that make us eat. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Let me know, do you struggle with the I'll start tomorrow eating? If you don't struggle with that, tell me your secret. How do you not struggle with that? Because I feel like it is something I do so much. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up so I know to keep on doing it. And please subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out, as well as hitting that little bell, and that's going to notify you when I post new videos. And then, of course, leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, guys.
I'm walking down the street just like I own it. I'm rolling to the beat just like I wrote it. Watching the sun go down.